Hello and welcome to Devil's Advocate Productions on this space. I'm Alex. I'm the Devil's Advocate. I talk about movies, music, TV, video games, whatever I feel like talking about on this channel. And today's was a very special day. Today was a very special day. Y'all don't even probably know. Y'all don't even probably know. Uh, and there's not that many of you right now. We'll wait for y'all to trickle in. Wait for Johnny to throw out that tweet and that blue sky. I appreciate you, as always. But let me give you a little recap of what I've been doing past few days. Summer Games Fest. Summer Games Fest happened. And started last Tuesday with the PlayStation State of Play announcement. And I missed that one. I missed that one because I had this show to do. So I was watching a little bit of it with my buddy Warhite, who has been on before. And they announced God of War Lofi, and they announced what was the other thing? I want to say Gears of War, but Wolverine. That was the other announcement, and that was pretty cool. But after as soon as that announcement happened on Tuesday, I said, War, this new God of War that takes place during the events of God of War 2018 that follows his wife who dies in the beginning of that game. This new game follows her journey through the afterlife, battling different gods and whatnot. Kind of a throwback to the OG God of War games, where Kratos is fighting through the gods of Olympus and whatnot to avenge his dead wife and daughter. Now we're at this place where he's remarried. He's got a son, Atreus. Now his wife has died, and we're following them through the last two games, God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. And now in this one, it takes place during those two games. And you're playing as his wife battling the gods of Egypt and Mesopotamia. And that's a cool thing. And I said to War, War, Asmongold's going to hate this. The loser bigot chuds are going to hate this. And lo and behold, as soon as I knew it, as soon as I finished this show and went on Twitter again, God of Woke was trending. And it didn't stop there, folks. It did not stop there. Because on Friday, we watched the full Summer Games Fest main event, right? Now, I have a couple of reactions out here for Vince Staples. This album is fantastic, by the way. Literally a hip-hop album against MAGA. Definitely check that out. But I clipped a couple trailer reactions here. Resident Evil, this was great. Alien Isolation 2. There's a new there's a new game by the people who make Yakuza called Stranger Than Heaven. And it features Snoop Dogg, but also Tupac. And I'm like, what? And then a couple days later, I saw Snoop Dogg was performing on stage somewhere and had like an AI angel version of Tupac above him. And I'm like, does Snoop Dogg somehow own Tupac's license? Like his face right now? Or does he have some kind of deal with the estate doing that? Because this is weird and gross. It feels weird and gross in this trailer, and it felt weird and gross. But yeah, so then Friday we streamed that. On Sunday, we streamed the Xbox showcase and the PC gaming showcase. And there we got the announcement of a brand new Spyro game, which is pretty cool for people who like Spyro. I personally do not. God of Woke, the Cryberries are calling it. Yeah, I know. It's so silly. I knew it. We also got an announcement. The trailer's not on my channel, but we got an announcement of a new Castlevania game where you play as the daughter of the main character, Simon Belmont. And I knew this one's gonna get it too. They're gonna be mad at this one. But we also got a game coming out today. Today we got the Nintendo Direct. Nintendo announced, I think yesterday, hey, by the way, we're here too. Tomorrow we're going to have our thing at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I streamed it. I streamed it for all handful of people that was there. Pinkerbell was there. The new Nintendo Direct stuff. And there was a lot in there that I was just like, what is this? Why did I wake up and decide to watch this? Who cares? There was, dude, they announced remakes and ports of like all the Kingdom Heart games. And there were so many that they named. I missed the reveal of Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming out. So Kingdom Hearts fans, there you go. I only realized it later on Twitter. I was like, oh, they actually announced 4. It was just in that mishmash of all these other ones coming out. So I was like, oh, I just couldn't tell the difference. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts guy. But at the very end of the Nintendo Direct, they announced something I never expected. Something that is blowing my mind. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Now, I'm not going to play the trailer. Because we might get dinged for it. I don't know how that works on YouTube. I didn't get dinged for it, but, you know, I don't really care what happens to my channel. If I get a DMCA, okay, then I won't do that again. But oh my God, it was amazing. And, you know, again, I just wanted to mention this because I, as far as I thought, you know, of course they're going to hate God of War starring a woman. Of course they're going to hate Castlevania starring a woman. But this I didn't expect. This is someone called Smash JT. I've never heard of this guy, but apparently he's yet another, you know, Asmongold wannabe, geeks and gamers, nerdrotic kind of guy. And he goes, this is unnecessary and intentionally signaling trans. They know what they are doing. Once you notice bisexual lighting being used, you cannot unsee it. This is intentional. I will not be gaslit. And what he's pointing to is this image of Halo. This is just like, here's the campaign mode for Halo Infinite that came out like a year or two ago. I have Halo. Halo Infinite is the first Halo I ever owned because it's free. It's just multiplayer mode. They separate it out. Here's multiplayer mode as its own game. Here's the campaign as its own game. And the campaign's coming out July 28th. They pointed out this patch of cloud that has some purple in it as this is bisexual lighting, and so it's signaling trans. The community note on Twitter is hilarious. Yes, Johnny, Ocarina of Time. I know. I'm excited. I'm so excited. The circled purple area is the planet Threshold, the largest planet in the system Alpha Halo resides in. Okay, so this is actually a planet. Interesting. The new cover art for Halo Campaign Evolved is a direct remake of the original for Halo Combat Evolved, also featuring Threshold. So let's check it out here. So this is the original back in the day Xbox box art for Halo, and this is the new one, right? So they wanted to like give homage, update it a little bit, and yeah, it's there. But you know, I Smash JT might have a point because I don't see purple lighting over here. I don't see purple lighting. They changed it. They made it purple to signal trans. This is, look, for the folks trying to gaslight or act like I'm crazy, here's the original artwork. I mean, here, look, there you go. He's pointing it out too. It is slightly bluer over here. And but you know, of course it's ridiculous. It's the sun coming through. It's a little more dynamic. Instead of it just being blue, it's like, oh, there's a little bit of sunburst through the clouds. It's just, this is what hate does to a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Hate does this to a person, and this makes them lose their goddamn minds. So we're here for it. We're here for God of Woke. We're here for trans combat evolved. Halo. Johnny, you want to see the Ocarina reveal? So let's check out this. Maybe we'll be able to show this. So this is one of my favorite creators. Her name's Rachel. She's from Scotland. She was part of a group called What Culture, and then just branched out on her own and streaming on her own. This is her reaction to the reveal of Ocarina of Time. Let's end this on a positive.
Next is our last announcement.
Ocarina of Time.
Please take a look.
Ocarina of Time.
See, again, I guess people did have an inkling this was coming. I was completely blindsided. I had no idea.
Even if it's not Zelda, we got Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer.
Long ago, there was a land called Hyrule, created by beings of supreme divinity. At the very edge of this kingdom,
It is Ocarina! Did you hear that?
Forest.
This is similar to my reaction, folks.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry!
An ancient solitary tree quietly watched over the inhabitants of the forest.
Oh my god!
So yeah, go check out my reaction over on my channel, Devil's Advocate Productions on YouTube, to the amazing Ocarina of Time. It's just a teaser. You barely see anything, but it's there. You hear it. Saria's song. It's there. Oh my God. Okay. Now, on to bigger and better things. Even though this is like weeks old news at this point. Kevin Hart had a roast. Kevin Hart had a roast on Netflix. I didn't talk about it. Enough people talked about it. But I just wanted to take a look at this reaction here. And this is his reaction to the backlash of having Tony Hinchcliffe, Shane Gillis, people like this on the roast and, making highly racist jokes.
Here, I'll say it again. Stop talking as if I said it. So when you say the family and the family's affected, I didn't disrespect the family.
Yeah, you did. Now, this is his defense. I say, yeah, you did instinctually. His defense is, I didn't say those jokes. Now, what he's talking about is jokes about George Floyd. And they say the family is affected. The family's upset. The family's affected. And he's like, well, I didn't say the jokes. Well, it was a roast on Netflix. They run all the jokes by them. There's a team of writers writing the jokes. And you're Kevin Hart. You have pull. If you said, you know what? I don't want these jokes. They would have pulled the jokes. Or I'm going to pull out of the event. But money is more important to Kevin Hart. Now, we all know this. That money is more important to Kevin Hart than anything else. But this is him telling y'all, in case you were wondering, here he is giving middle fingers to George Floyd's family. Wasn't me. Even though my name's on the roast and I could have pulled out. Wasn't me. I have no power. Despite my name being on the roast.
Showed up for the family when it happened. Made sure that the family felt supported. Made sure that all things there were actually cool. Behind the scenes, just as an example, you know the one person that I talked to? And I'm not even going to tell you the conversation. Stephen Jackson.
Oh, I know he caught that.
That's because that's my nigga.
Yeah.
Hey, Stack, let me just call you, man. So I can explain to you like the world of the roast, X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
We talked. I get it, Kev. We had a great conversation. But that's what I mean when I say, hey, man, let me call the one person after. And that's before whatever you're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's immediate. Mm-hmm. Stack, hey, Tony threw one out there. It's this and this, but you do know that that's what this shit is a roast. But I just want you to know from my side.
That's Kevin going, hey, hey, this roast just happened. They made fun of your dead family member. The racist who was headlining Madison Square Garden during the Nazi rally. Yes, the Nazi rally. That guy, yeah, he's on the roast. Oh, I let him be on the roast. I didn't say no to him. I didn't say no to Netflix. Totally fine. He was on the roast. Knew he was going to say some racist shit because that's kind of all he does. Yeah. I just wanted to do this so that I could say I did this for when I'm interviewed inevitably afterwards. That's what he's doing here. I did it privately. So y'all don't care. Y'all don't really care because you're not actually talking to the family. I'm talking to I don't even know who Steve is.
That man is on his own.
You ain't lead with that, Kev. You should
Lead
have been
what?
leading with that the whole time.
I don't need to.
People just want to know you care.
I don't fucking need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No.
Yes, you do. Now, here's what I remember. Here's why I wanted to talk about this at all. I remember years ago, Kevin Hart made some kind of joke in a stand-up routine about a kid coming out to him as gay. By the way, hi, Wanda. Hi, Bebe. Hi, Snicks Bay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the chat. How are you? Kevin Hart made a joke about, like, if my kid ever came out as gay, I'd strangle him. Something like that. I don't remember exactly. Some kind of gay joke. And, you say, Bebe, George Floyd jokes, some things aren't funny. You can make a funny George Floyd joke. I believe you can make a funny joke out of pretty much anything. You just have to make it funny. I think so. Kevin Hart made a gay joke. People got upset, and he went and apologized. He apologized publicly on like Ellen's show, which is hilarious in retrospect that Ellen was the arbiter of morality. He apologized like individually, made like a apology video, and that was it. And then it kept coming up years after, like over the years, it kept coming up. Whenever he got like a big new movie role or something good happened to him, here comes people on the internet being like, "But remember this," and he would apologize again and again. And then it got to the point where he was offered the hosting gig at the Oscars. And he was like, "Oh, cool, big cool gig, whatever." And then here comes the people again. But he said this homophobic thing. He said this joke. And he was like, "Okay, you know what? I don't want to have to apologize for this every fucking couple years. Fuck you. I'm not taking the job. I'm just not taking the job." And that, I think, was the year where they decided to like have no hosts for the Oscars and just rotate through. Here's Tina Fey, and here's Trevor Noah, and here's Michael Che and Colin Jost, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. I get that. But how hard is it to just be like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad." Now, he might be in a position where like there's no benefit to really taking that job, because what do you take the hosting job at the Oscars for? Just to keep your name in the mouths of Hollywood studio executives. Be like, he's a person that we know about, we like, right? I guess he didn't need to. He's already someone that they call. He shows up, he does his job, boom. This is about credibility with the culture. This is the same shit. We're going to get all back around to this when I talk about Jay-Z towards the end. But this is about credibility with the culture and being like, no, I didn't shit on George Floyd. I didn't disrespect the family. That was Tony. That's part of a roast. I'm trying to justify it. And Charlemagne's like, you absolutely do need to prove to people that you care, because they don't know that you're calling the family behind the scenes. If you are, they don't know that. They think you're cool with it. You signed off on this. You signed off on everybody because it's your roast.
Need to prove to people that I give a fuck.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Just this time. This one time.
No.
Yes, this one.
No. If you open that door, then that's the door that people expect all the time. Why the fuck do I need to do that?
I think it's because
See, that's what I mean. You open the door, then that's what people expect. That's what is in his back of his mind. I opened the door. I gave that apology years ago, and now they expect me to constantly apologize, and I don't want to do that. And my question is, why not? Why not? Why don't you want to learn?
Because of how much the George Floyd situation affected so many people. This is, I think, I get what you're saying and how you stand on your business, and I respect
I'm
you
not
for
talking
that.
about standing on business.
Or whatever it is. I think with certain
Did
things,
not say it.
but their pushback is it happened at Kevin Hart's roast.
You
Kevin
can't-
Hart, who is like, he's out, like, so many of us support you.
I got
You're
the
ours.
example.
They just
I
want to
got-
hear you say.
okay, I got
just want
the
to hear you
example.
say what you said today. It's tasteless. You actually
Yeah.
reached out to somebody who's considered their
That's
family
it.
to say,
I don't
let
think-
them know. That's all.
I have the best example. If I go to a nightclub and like we're celebrating, right? And 2 people get killed that night at the nightclub. What's the headline?
Kevin Hart's party got shot.
Shot
Two
up.
people
2
got
people
killed at
died
Kevin Hart's
at
party.
Kevin Hart's party, right? People may say, "I'm not going to Kevin Hart's party again." Man, you can't go to Kevin Hart shit. Kevin Hart shit ain't safe. I ain't fucking with Kev. You heard what happened? I go, but I didn't fucking do it. I didn't even know the people that fucking was shooting. I didn't even know the 2 people that got killed. That's the
That's not at all an apt analogy. This is more like you went to a nightclub. No, this is more like you rented out a nightclub. The only people in the nightclub are people associated with you. And yeah, someone got injured. Also, the maybe don't use the death thing as an analogy when talking about George Floyd. Stupid. But yeah, that is not an apt analogy. What's the headline say? Again, more concerned with like media perception than like you were cool with it. You were okay with that joke. You didn't want to say, maybe you didn't want to say it because you didn't want the white people at Netflix or the writers or whatever to be like, oh, he's so sensitive. We can't work with him again. I don't know.
the nature of being the name. Your name is attached to things to make things bigger. What is my fucking... I didn't shoot the gun. Why am I arguing and why am I doing interviews after?
Why were they in your party with guns,
But
Kevin?
who knows? I don't work the metal detectors. I'm not the security guys. The club does all that. I don't have those answers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the responsibility just it starts to compile as if I'm the one in charge. We are not in charge of the dialogue from anybody on that stage.
If Tony calls you right now and says, man, Kev, man, I was out at the comedy club, man. And man, this dude, man, who said he was George Floyd's brother, smacked the shit out of me.
You gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
He just doesn't want any responsibility. And here's Van Lathan, higher learning, with a response to that.
There are a lot of people who do not like the way this is being handled. You know what this is really about? Black people don't like to see black subjugated to anything. There is no culture that should overtake your duty as a black person. Black comedy. People are going to ask, which culture is more important, the black or the comedy? Black police officer, which culture is more important, the black or the police officer? If you are saying I am blue before I am black, then that means a nigga is going to get punched in his fucking face. Or a black man, as a black woman, is going to be abused because you are in the middle of a culture that can be dangerous to black people, and you ain't gonna say nothing because you blue and not black. We're gonna talk later about Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart and the sanctity of the NFL locker room. Are you an NFL player, or are you a black NFL player that will stand in the gap against racism or racist policies? Will you disturb the sanctity of the locker room, the culture of the NFL?
And this is a good analogy, folks, because what happened when Colin Kaepernick decided he was a black man first before he was an NFL player? NFL said, I bet, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You're going to kneel for the national anthem? No. You perform the ritual we want you to perform, or you're done. And I think that's what Kev is worried about. If you don't subjugate yourself a little bit, allow white comedians to make racist jokes at you at you, and not even at you, to kind of just in general, again, spraying bullets into the wider world. George Floyd. The joke, the joke was like something about like George Floyd is looking up at you, smiling right now, saying he's in hell. That's what the joke was. Which again, not much of a joke. Not much of a joke, other than, I watched South Park. South Park jokes that everyone's in hell. Everyone you loved who has ever died, Princess Diana. I mean, this is from the 90s, but like Princess Diana, who's the dude from It's a Wonderful Life. Like everyone who's ever died is in hell. Gandhi's in hell. They're all in hell. The only people who get into heaven are Mormons in South Park. And that's the joke. It's like whatever, this is a beloved actor, beloved public figure, beloved whatever, they're in hell. You can make that joke. Tony's joke was just bad. Just wasn't good. And Kevin decided, I'm a comedian before I'm black.
For your blackness. If you do not do that, black people feel unprotected by you. And if they feel unprotected by you, they feel like they cannot trust you. And if they cannot trust you, they'll find somebody else that they trust to support. So the question in all of this stuff is, if you're a black comic, what's more important, the black or the comic? Because if there are rules in comedy that make black people feel less protected, less seen, more exposed, then people are going to be like, fuck your jokes. And that's fair. But when people are asking them, it's important that people know, Kevin Hart or anyone else, that they're not asking these questions like with an objective view of the lens of freedom of speech in America. They're asking these questions in context. And the context is 400 plus years of some of the worst torture, degradation, and disenfranchisement in the history of the world. And it's difficult.
And also the context of currently the revitalization of that movement that subjugated black people, the Confederacy, and the ideas of the Confederacy. The subjugation of black people in the culture right now. That's the context. And some of this dialogue is happening right now around FD Signifier. Was that guy Bad Empanada? They had a debate, and essentially FD was like, yeah, maybe don't call a black person slave. That was his criticism. And Bad Empanada was like, no, I should be able to do that if I disagree with them politically and if I'm morally correct politically. And FD's point essentially was, you're not morally correct politically if you are using that language. You kind of just want to use that language, and you're trying to find any defense of why you should be able to call a black person a slave as an insult. Because you want to do that. Because you want to be an edgelord. That's the point. What are you first? And people are pointing at FD going, are you a leftist first or are you a black first? And he goes, I'm a black man first. Bro, I'm a black man first. And black man inherently is leftist. Now, there's a whole Cheyenne Bryant conversation happening. If you're watching my streams, check me out over on YouTube and Twitch. I broke down the whole Cheyenne Bryant situation, watching Olay's videos, watching Culture United. Essentially, she's a hack, fake doctor, calling herself a doctor, maybe has a doctorate, but calling herself a doctor to use that as legitimizing her opinions as a relationship expert and life coach to get a following so that she can sell books and all this. She's already selling books. She's already on a book tour right now. And there's black people who defend this. There's black people who defend Kevin Hart because why are you trying to tear a black man down? So what? Okay, he had to deal with a little bit of that, but that's all right. Everybody does. Why are you trying to tear a black woman down when you talk about Cheyenne Bryant? It's like, well, nobody's trying to tear down a black woman or tear down a black man. Trying to tear down a fraudster, a grifter, someone who's not helping the culture, who's not there for you. So we'll see. I doubt Kevin Hart's like ticket sales numbers are going to go down. This is my same argument with Vanguard. You know, if I ever go on the Vanguard, I'll bring up Bill Burr. I don't think whenever he goes on tour again, we'll see if the ticket sales are down because of the Riyadh Comedy Festival. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt anybody really gives it that much of a shit. I highly doubt anything's going to happen to Cheyenne Bryant because Olayemi is talking about her or Karam James is talking about her. But the people who are in the know. And that's all you got to know. All right. So that's that segment. Let's talk a little bit about the turn. So I've been talking about this for weeks at this point. People are turning on the right wing. People are turning on the right wing, including right-wingers themselves. This is just kind of apt because it happened last night. I watched basketball for the first time probably since the 90s on TV. Not that I even watched basketball on TV much in the 90s anyway. Sometimes with my dad, if I was at a friend's house and they were watching it. But Knicks fever is here. It is real. And I watched the whole game. It was a buzzer beater. It was close, tied to the end. Unfortunately, the Spurs won because this fucking asshole decided to show up and lock down all of Midtown so that no one could get near Madison Square Garden. It was annoying. What's up? Hey, what's up, Hank? How you doing? Taking a break from suntanning at Celebrity Beach. Skippy a speedo to say hello. I can tell. And, you know, you better keep that quiet because Trump over here is going to try and find you. He loves milky, creamy thighs of men. He keeps talking about it. That's probably why he truly forced himself into the locker room last night. Reporters were not allowed into the locker room pregame to interview because he wanted to go in. Because he wanted the milky, creamy thighs. But here he is at Madison Square Garden getting the absolute shit booed out of him. I'm proud of my city. I'm proud of my city. I will also say, poor guy who's singing the national anthem. Like, you're just singing and you know they're going to cut to Trump while you're doing it. And you hear the boos and you just got to maintain the song. I felt so bad for him. But, yeah, so Trump is booed. Here's Megyn Kelly. This is from a few weeks ago. Saying, why aren't we blaming ourselves for Trump?
Like Trump, he took $200 million from Marian Adelson. Well, how did we think that was going to end? You know, I think we took Trump too much at his word on the, I'm not going to start any more wars, especially not Middle East wars, especially not one with Iran. We could be here for the next hour running those sound bites. We were too non-skeptical when the answers were right there. If you looked at who was backing his campaign, the biggest donor, and it wasn't just Miriam, there were many, who's, you know, he said her loyalty is more to Israel. Why didn't we pay more attention to that? But like, why aren't we blaming ourselves?
First of all, where is she? This looks like the Daily Wire set, but it's not. This is RT, which is Russia Today. Maybe she's getting some Russian money. I don't know what this is. The blank show. I can't read that.
I don't accept that there's no one we could find.
Sean Ryan's podcast. Thank you, Hank. Thank you.
I don't know who wouldn't be true to the agenda he or she ran on. I am not quite that cynical yet. I'm not quite that black-pilled.
Well, that's good because I am. but I wasn't even talking about president. I was just somebody running for Congress, Senate, whatever. I even think the president will just get eaten alive by the machine.
All right. So the reason I wanted to talk about this is, yes, they're all turning on Trump. They're turning on themselves. Here's Mehdi Hassan saying, on the one hand, they, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, etc., definitely should blame themselves. But on the other hand, I'm glad they're saying this stuff out loud and finally being somewhat self-critical. And yet again, I grab Mehdi Hassan by the fucking shirt collar and scream in his face, Mehdi, what the fuck are you doing? Stop trying to legitimize them. They are not. They are lying. They are lying. They are lying. They are lying. Megyn Kelly, in particular, she got fucking fired over Donald Trump. She was at the debate. She was the moderator of the debate. She asked a tough question of the primary debate, the Republican primary debate, before he was even the nominee. She asked a tough fucking question. You're hating on women. You got all this criticism and didn't let it go. And then he said, you're bleeding out of your eyes. You're bleeding out of your whatever. You're on your period. And she went on the news and she kept talking. She kept criticizing him. And then she, came out with allegations of assault from Roger Ailes and left Fox. Was hired by NBC, had a show, a daytime talk show on NBC for like a few weeks until October ran around. And there was a debate about whether it's okay to wear blackface as a costume. And she staunchly stood on the side of, yes, you should be able to wear blackface and not get criticized. Once again, you can all wear blackface if you want. You can get criticized, though. That's the risk that you run. You also run the risk of getting punched in the fucking face, but you more likely run a risk of getting criticized, maybe expelled from school if you're a student, maybe fired from your job if you have a job in this economy. Her argument is you shouldn't have any consequences. That is all of their argument. I should be able to say whatever slur I want with no consequences, or do anything I want with no consequences. Same argument, strangely, that Kevin Hart was kind of making. So fuck Megyn Kelly, fuck Tucker Carlson. She, again, because of Trump, lost her job. Because of Trump. And then after NBC fired her, was like, shit, I'm dead in the water. I need to do something. I'm going to go pro-Trump. And has been pro-Trump ever since, trying to make up for the fact and have people forget that she lost her fucking job for criticizing Trump. And now she's going to be the biggest Trump fucking supporter. But now that he's unpopular, I'm going to pull back again. But I'm not going to pull back. She could have, dude, if she had stuck with it, she would have been like, she would have had the most credibility. I was against Trump from then. For 10 years, I've been against Trump. But no, because that wasn't going to give her money. And she wasn't going to go full NBC either. She couldn't. She tried. She couldn't help herself but defend blackface. So fuck that. Fuck this idea, Mehdi. Again, I appreciate your appearance on the Patrick Bet-David show. That was fantastic. But even then, like, what did that accomplish? Share audience? I don't know. But they're not the only ones. Now, this was Paulina Mangubat, content and creative director for the Democrats' social media account. Okay. She replied using the Democrats' account under Katie Miller, Stephen Miller's wife, your husband's an ugly fuck. And this was her response to Katie Miller saying she should be fired. This is inappropriate and blah, 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 blah.
Let's bring in Paulina Magabutt, content and creative director at the DNC. So Katie Miller has been posting about you. She
says, who runs the Democrats account. She's 30, unmarried with no kids, as if that's an insult. Put your name on it next time. This is what a sad, unhappy female liberal looks like. That's why Pew reports 50% of them have been diagnosed with a mental condition. This is low-key, high-key threatening her because if she's killed because of this, some lunatic Republican is like, I'm going to find this person. How dare you insult Stephen Miller and kill her? They'll go, oh, well, she was mentally unwell. It's just like when Joe Rogan said to Theo Vaughn, oh, I think you're having, you're a little suicidal. Like maybe stop talking about Israel so much. Very weird. Very weird. People pointed that out. And her response, this is her response.
You want Katie Miller to know?
I want Katie Miller to know that her husband is an ugly fuck. Stephen Miller is one of the most powerful men in the country right now. He is a White House official who is taking to Twitter to hurl these absolutely false and transphobic attacks against an amazing candidate in Texas, James Tallarico. We simply called him ugly. And I think that what he has been doing is ugly.
Okay, so there's her response. Well, actually, let's finish it.
He is celebrating when ICE shoots down Americans in the street. He thinks that it's cool when families are separated, and it's just absolutely disgusting. And so, yeah, I stand by calling him an ugly fuck.
Word. This goes into the broader conversation that I've been having. I think Dieter has been having. And unfortunately, I won't be here tomorrow. So you're going to have to, next week, me and Dieter will reunite. But this broader conversation of the Republicans expect the Democrats to hold decorum. They expect the Democrats to hold up the fucking institutions that they keep wrecking. And as soon as the Democrats are like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to hold that shit up anymore. They go, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're breaking decorum. You're being unfair. You can't do that. You can't call us weird. You can't call us weird. That's not fair. What about policy? What about policy? Can't call us weird. Don't call us ugly. What are you doing? We call you ugly. We transvestigate you. You can't do that to us. No. They get mad because they will fucking lose. Because our insults to them are fucking cutting. Fucking cutting. Dude, that is someone running a social media account for the main Democrats account. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Democrats did let her go because they want to hold on to decorum and, oh, we're so special and we care about institutions and bullshit like that. But so far, I don't think they have. And so far, they're getting some fucking pushback. Now, here's another person. Now, these aren't turning against MAGA. These are just, again, this segment is people who are turning against MAGA and MAGA people feeling the heat. Okay? These are some MAGA people feeling the heat. Fresh off her debate with Sam Cedar and fresh off his appearance on Jubilee, here is Dave Rubin talking with his actual friend, Jillian Michaels, about the crazy environment of Jubilee, which we cannot show because we will get DMCA'd.
And I honestly believe several of them would have killed me if given the opportunity, truly. And you all know my guy, Joey, who works for me. And he said to me after, he said, Dave, I made a choice halfway through that if one of them was going to attack you, I was going to get involved. Because that's the level of...
Oh my God, Dr. Drew fucking jump scare. Holy shit.
Tension. Like I could feel the dagger.
I don't know who this is. I want to say Stacey Dash, but it's definitely not. But Stacey Dash adjacent. Stacey Dash mold
is coming at me. The ones that mostly they had horrible scowls on their faces, but the ones that smiled at me actually seemed like the most dangerous because they were like Joker smiles.
So here he is complaining about how scared he was in a YouTube debate setting. Now, I saw, speaking of Mehdi Hassan, Mehdi do that same debate. And there was times watching that where I was nervous for Mehdi. These like rabid Islamophobic fascists, they look like they did want to actually swing on him and were close to swinging on him. Matter of fact, he said afterwards, yeah, I was actually kind of nervous. Whereas Dave Rubin, ain't nobody swinging on Dave Rubin. Nobody cares about Dave Rubin. Nobody knows who you are enough to care. Okay. Nobody knows who you are enough to care. But again, I just need to keep pointing out this stuff that even MAGA people are feeling the heat. This clip went viral a couple days ago. Now, he has not moved off being, MAGA, lunatic, fascist, whatever. But as I was talking about in the beginning, one of the proponents of the God of woke bullshit, Asmongold, kind of had an accidental moment of self-reflection on stream. And I just want to play this for y'all.
I mean, I'm going to bed at like fucking 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I mean, this is getting bad, guys. Like on my day off, I washed my car and I did lawn work. I fed the birds. And I'm stressing out, boys.
He's talking about being lonely.
I'm stressing out. What's going on? Like we gotta do something about this. Like I have to like I don't know what I need to do. It's got to be something. I gotta figure something out. They're expiring, I guess so. And become a eunuch. Fuck it, I guess so. Damn, Unc got them old.
Someone said become a eunuch. That'd be a move. Do it on stream. Get castrated on stream. I'm telling you, they are feeling the turn. And I don't know if it's just the unpopularity of Trump and that trickle-down effect, or it's some kind of internal growth. And I don't mean growth as in they're becoming good people. No. I mean growth in terms of they're recognizing the environment that they've created around themselves, and it's stinky and gross, and they don't like it. I point to iDubbbz. What was stressing him out, Hank? It was the fact that he doesn't have a girlfriend. That's what was. He's like, I'm alone. It hit him for a minute. It was like, actually, I go to sleep really late. I'm always tired. On my days off, I just do chores around the house. I have no one. He has no one in his life. He doesn't even say like I have friends I meet up with and go. He has no one. He's isolated himself. That's his problem. And again, I don't think it's growth. Like I point to iDubbbz. iDubbbz was an edgy content creator back, I don't know, fucking 15 years ago on YouTube. I only found out about him in retrospect. I point y'all towards this video. This was 2 years ago. It was actually one of her first videos. Ole ME made a video with iDubbbz interviewing him, calling it the leftist rebrand, quote unquote, featuring iDubbbz. And she talks to him about like why did you kind of do this? Was it like, oh, you were trying to do this for political reasons, or what motivated you? And he was like, dude, it was just the people I would meet who were fans of mine when I went to TwitchCon or YouTube conventions or whatever it was, or just walking down the street and the people coming up to me like, I'm your fan. I didn't like those people. And I realized I was cultivating this kind of fan base. People who would come up to me and yell slurs. There's a great interview he did with one of the guys from Smosh, which, once again, in the 90s and remembers what YouTube was like when it first launched, that it was just America's fucking funniest home videos, people getting kicked in the nuts, and Smosh was just two dudes singing the Pokemon anthem. And now they're like media creators and producers and blah, blah. It's fucking ridiculous. But one of the dudes from Smosh interviewed iDubbbz and was like, yeah, people would come up to you and yell words that you can only describe by describing the first letter of that word. He was like, yeah, that was the problem. And he realized that's not what's in his heart. As much as, and hell, I'm just watching this video coincidentally by this other great creator, Saros TV, talking about Funky Frog Bait. These names, dude, I swear to God, I know, dude. I know. I hate these names. But this is kind of in the same vein of like, And now, neither of those two people did anything wrong. They're talking about somebody else. But like Saros is talking about every white creator, especially if you're like a certain size and you've been around for a certain amount of time, there's guaranteed racist shit in your past, because that was the meta. That was the thing. It was edgy stuff. Okay. Sarah Silverman show, The Man Show, Adult Swim, like all Family Guy, South Park, all this shit from the 90s into the 2000s. And it kind of, I'd say in the 2010s, kind of got all the racist shit got swept up by the right wingers. And they said, no, we are going to own this stuff. It's going to be our stuff. And that's where the separation began. Breitbart, Epstein, kind of making that clear, cleaving that room, Gamergate really being a part of this. But this idea of, they actually don't like the environments that they've created. I will point to another example. This is Sneeko. This is Sneeko outside Madison Square Garden with the watch party, watching the Knicks. Okay? I don't know this guy outside of, he hangs out with Andrew Tate. I get him confused with Aiden Ross. And this is, I don't know, one of his fans or like a member of his crew or something. And watch this clip.
Let's start a chant. Right, you do Let's free Chud.
So he wants to start a chant. Let's free Chud. Okay? If you want to know who Chud is, they're talking about this guy, Chud the Builder. And I am not going to play clips of him because all he does, this guy right here in the cowboy hat, all he does is say the N-word. All he does is say the N-word. And yeah, this is actually I'm gonna play this. Content warning, but this dude is reacting to Chud and kind of explaining who he is.
Content, and I think you're a bitch. Your mom. Yeah.
Did you see your mom? That's it. That's that.
But hold on, let's finish the Sneeko thing, because like, look, he starts the chant, "Let's free Chud." Chud's been arrested. What has he been arrested for? He says the N-word around black people. He has a gun on him and pepper spray. He got into a shootout, and he's charged with attempted murder because he was intentionally provoking people so that they would attack him and he could pull out his gun. The stand your ground shit, he was pushing the limits of even that.
No? You can't do that one? Any other ideas? That's such a fucking drill, wow. This bitch looked over here and smiled when I'm reading a chat saying, "Tell the fat Asian she's not mocking."
So this is a fan. This is someone else streaming, I think, because he has a mic on him. So I think he's streaming himself. And this is the face of someone who realizes this is my audience. This is my audience. He wants to start a let's free Chud chant. And Sneaker's like, nah, bro, you do that. And he's also like, who is this guy? Like, why is he looking at me like I'm in solidarity with him? And then when he doesn't do that and he kind of like brushes the guy off, the guy's like, wow, what a Jew. What a Jew. And then this girl was looking at him weird. And he's like, oh, the fat Asian said she's not mogging. Like, oh, she got mad because she saw that I was tweeting fat Asian. And actually, you're not mogging me. Like, you're weird. You're weird in public, and he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed that you're looking up to him for approval. And yes, let me go through Chud.
That's the best he could do. Your mom? What a fucking moron.
Yeah. You're in there. He's always chipping out.
This has led to nobody liking Chud. His wife left him. She's trying to change
His wife left him.
their son's name
She's trying to change the son's name so that they're not associated with him.
because she doesn't want her son to have the same name as him. He's even
Based, honestly.
been kicked out of his church.
Been kicked out of his church, his community.
I am unable to enter the church because I am a non-repentant sinner, I guess.
Wow, even the church kicked him out? Holy shit, dude, what a W.
Like, my whole family doesn't.
Wait, sorry, this guy's entire support structure has
And his whole fucking family.
disavowed him for being a racist piece of shit. His own wife.
Like, this is what I mean. It's all falling apart because the fascist structure you thought was going to protect you is not that micromanaged that they're going to protect you from your family leaving you. Now, ask Steven Crowder about that. And they're already trying to, like, maybe we shouldn't let women divorce men so that we can mitigate that problem. Because, if people start getting divorced because of this shit, if your women start leaving you, if you start being isolated, even more isolated than you already are, then they're going to be like, yeah, all right, fuck Trump. I'm going to throw my life away for this fucking asshole who doesn't give a shit about me, who keeps making my gas go up and start fucking wars on Iran. I'm going to make my gas go up because of him? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. It's turning. The mood is turning. The mood is turning. Dude, everyone wants to be in New York right now. We got Mayor Mamdani making the place fucking nice. We got the Knicks on a fucking streak. Fingers crossed, knock wood. All right? I'm saying, bro. I'm saying. Now, I promised I would end with this, and so I shall. The billionaires are nervous. The billionaires are nervous. As I said, the Trump people are nervous, and they're trying to change the narrative and whatnot. The billionaires are nervous too. And I point to you, Jay-Z had the Roots had a picnic, a performance. Jay-Z has a couple more performances lined up for the anniversary of his first album and the Blueprint album. I'm still going through his albums on my channel. Once again, check out Devil's Advocate Productions to see me go through Jay-Z's albums. I went through the second one so far, and I even covered the freestyle a little bit that he did. He did a freestyle. Okay, he went after Drake, he went after Nicki Minaj, he went after MAGA, right? And we like that. We like that. Little golf clap for you, Jay-Z. Now, I don't give him a golf clap because I remember this interview from not a couple weeks ago. Not a couple weeks ago. Watch this. Interviewed about being a billionaire. And also, an interview, period. These motherfuckers don't have to give interviews. I pointed this out when Jeff Bezos gave an interview on CNBC. They never give interviews. The fact that they're giving interviews tells me they're fucking worried about something. And I think it's guillotines. It's a backlash. It's class war.
Like you said earlier, like the things that you do for the culture, the ways that you put on, the ways that you try to protect and move forward, but kind of the pushback that you get sometimes about like people throw capitalists at you in a derogatory sense.
Yeah, I think in that verse specifically, the only thing I heard coming up was the American dream until we started being successful. And it was like, wait a minute, you're selling out because you're making money. That was the first thing that was put on musicians. People had this law for the struggling artists. That's a mind game. Well,
No. They were not mad at you for making money. And it wasn't, as soon as you started making money, they said you're selling out and you're capitalism's back. American Dream is not making $1 billion. American Dream is having a job that pays you enough money to own a fucking house, have a fucking family, go on fucking vacations, not worry about bills and all this shit so much that it bogs down every single second of your day. That's the fucking American goddamn dream. It's the middle fucking class, dumbass.
we would call back in the day for tricknology. It was like, no, I'm not going for that. Like, no, I make.
See, again, the tricknology, that signals to the black culture, hey, they're trying to trick you. They're trying to talk you out of making $1 million. I'm part of the culture. I'm here. You put me here. We're all here together, even though I'm the only one in this room. I'm the only one who lives in a big mansion in Manhattan or wherever the fuck he lives with Beyonce. Only I'm the one who owns a fucking record company. This is all of us here, except I'll just hold on the money for us as black people, as a collective. Watch FD's videos about black excellence.
Art first, and then I make sure that I'm compensated for my art. I didn't take advantage. I didn't get here by taking advantage of people. I didn't take no one.
That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. I didn't take advantage of no one. What are you talking about? You're a record executive. Like this dude, Scooter Braun, who's dating Sydney Sweeney now. I most know him. I don't know who the fuck he is. I don't give a shit about Taylor Swift. I know him from owning Taylor Swift's music. That's what he did. And now he's dating Sydney Sweeney. And I'm sure starting to own everything that she puts out. That's my guess. This is by the Free Press, by the way.
One thing that's been heavily debated is Live Nation, the ticket sales platform. A federal jury recently found that Live Nation and Ticketmaster, which Live Nation bought, operated an illegal monopoly. Is Live Nation like the big bad that everyone says it is?
No. We come in a society now where it's like, if you are big, you must be an oppressor. You must be bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we used to be a society that celebrated great entrepreneurs, and that was the American way. And funny enough, Live Nation is ran by a really great Canadian, Michael Rapino. Michael Rapino is a...
Wow, doesn't that sound a lot like what Jay-Z just said? It used to be that this is the American way. This is the American dream. Aim for something big. But now, if you become big, oh, you're an oppressor. It's a new thing. It's brand new. No one's been talking about this for 80 goddamn years. Socialists haven't been around. Communists haven't been around. Leftists haven't been around saying this same fucking shit. Saying monopolies are fucking bad. You know who else has an investment in Live Nation? Jay fucking Z. And here's yet another billionaire, Mr. Beast, also saying something very similar. This is to the Wall Street Journal.
You said you keep less than $1 million for yourself despite being a paper billionaire. Why do you choose to operate that way?
It's funny talking about my personal finances because no one ever believes anything I say. So, I mean, because they're like, you're a billionaire. I'm like, that's net worth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did that glitch out? Sorry.
Technically, everyone watching this video has more money than me.
He says, technically, everyone watching this video has more money than him. Is that just like Jay-Z? I'm not a billionaire. I'm holding it all for you. That's just net worth, man. Come on. I don't have liquid money. What are you talking about?
And their bank account, if you subtract the equity value of my company, which
the equity value
McDonald's in the morning or whatever. But yeah, why do I choose to keep it that way? It's not, I don't know. I just don't really think of it. I wake up, I just work, and I don't know. I'm just so busy working. I don't really think about my personal bank account, if that makes sense. I'm just laser focused on, you know, making the greatest videos possible and building the business as big as possible.
And once again, think about who I just played here. Here's Mr. Beast, right? Here's Jay-Z, who's actually a musician. I'll give him that. He's actually a musician. Here's Scooter Braun. I don't know what the fuck Scooter Braun does other than own shit. And here's Mr. Beast, who makes fucking videos. And what videos does he make? His very first video that got him famous was counting to 10,000. So nothing artistic, no fucking work goes into that shit. All of them are saying being a billionaire is not bad. Don't worry about it. Bezos was out here a couple of weeks ago. Maybe a flat tax, giving alternatives to taxing the wealthy. Why does he keep a little bit of money in his bank account? So it doesn't get taxed. That's fucking why. That's fucking why. They're all fucking coming out here doing a fucking PR tour, billionaire PR tour, to try and avoid their fucking necks resting on the guillotine when we take power back, because they feel that it's coming for them. And if they fucking feel it, then it really fucking is. Keep fucking pushing. Election night's tonight. We're watching Grand Platinum in Maine. Let's fucking go. A Difficult Truth up next. I'm sorry for running over time. I love y'all. Take care. I'm going to see Luke.